back. Today I want to talk a little bit about how you can increase your income through selling financial products. So if I was to say to some of you, hey, you might be able to work for a mutual fund or be a stockbroker, you might immediately think, whoa, what? Stockbroking? Like, isn't that for people who went to Harvard and then work on Wall Street? They wear Italian shoes, they haven't owned a car, they hail taxis 8 days a week. No, not necessarily. You know, there are a lot of companies out there, and I do have to admit that a lot of this industry is going towards, they call it fintech. I mean, using computers and softwares in order to help customers and things of that nature. But truth be told, there's a lot of firms that they still need a live person on the end of the phone for all kinds of different trades, especially for traders who want to call in and make a phone call and place their orders that way. So that is basically, you know, a brokerage firm where they're basically connecting buyers to sellers. So the bigger jobs in an investment bank would say like Goldman Sachs or something like that. I mean, yeah, you're going to have an MBA in finance from a prestigious school. And I mean, to work on the analytics side, you're going to have a great math background. But to do more of the customer service side, you don't. You can start out making $40,000 a year entry level. And I know this because I just called a firm here in the Midwest and asked them what their starting salary was. They said $40,000, $20 an hour. So step one, if you want to get into this, is you want to pass the SIE exam. You can see it's the Securities Industry Essentials exam. And this is just a prep book that I got from a company called Wiley's. Where did it say that? Right here. Yeah, right here. Right here. So the thing is, just so that you know that this company is legit, they do courses for the CPA exam, CMA, another accounting degree, internal audit. They do it for the CFA, for the FRM, which is like risk management, the GMAT, and a lot of other like things related to IT, security, and tech. So this was a great book. I ordered it off Amazon, and I mean, I passed the exam on my first try. Now I have a bit of a background in finance, but honestly the pass rate is 70%, and it's not like a long number of hours. You can I think study for it. I'll show you that information in a second, but it's not a tremendous amount of time. You know, it's not like going back to school and get a graduate degree or having to do some kind of online certificate that's going to take you multiple semesters to complete. Also, there's no restrictions on when you can take the exam. It's not like some tests where, you know, you have a certain window, or you can only take it once a quarter, or, you know, they're only going to offer it like in June. It's not like that. You can go to a testing center near you, you can go to their website, and you can take it pretty much any day of the week. All you have to do is register and sign up. I'll show you guys the fees, but I want to tell you one thing that I think is super interesting about this. The firm that I spoke to in my city, I was asking them, okay, how does this work? And see, I thought that you had to study on your own, and I knew this part, that this is the initial, like the gateway exam that you get into. So you need to pass this first, and then to sell products, you're going to have to pass another exam. Now, I'll do another video, or maybe I'll make this a long one, or I'll circle around and talk about all the different series, but they have like Series 6, Series 5, Series 3, Series 7. Series 7 is kind of the big one. It covers most of the not commodities, but securities that you could sell. Okay, so I'll get into that, but don't get stuck in the details. Step one, pass this. Okay. Step two, figure out what kind of product you want to sell, you know, where you can get a job, what they want you to sell, what they want you to get, the license they want to get, and then they'll tell you, you know, which exam, you know, you should do in order to work with them. Now, here's the cool thing, and I didn't know this. I just went on Amazon, I picked up the book, I set up my own test, and I passed the test. I set it on my own. When I was on the phone with this company here in my town, they said that they actually offer people paid positions. So you can get hired, you go through their training program, and they pay you. So you can actually get paid to study in order to pass both the SIE and, in this example, the Series 6. They're going to give you 2 attempts on each exam, and that's after they already prepped you for it. So they're going to pay you to prep, and then they're going to give you 2 shots at it. So say you fail the first time, they're going to, I guess, pay you again the second time in order to re-prepare and take it again. Now, if you fail the second time on either the initial gateway exam, the SIE, or say the Series 6 in my example, I mean, you're pretty much out of a job. They're not going to continue to pay for you to get three strikes. You only get 2 attempts in this case. But, I mean, that's pretty cool. They're paying for you to study in order to get a job. Now, as far as I know, you don't need any college, and it's just a matter of convincing somebody on the phone that you're the right person for the job, that you're motivated, that your life circumstances have motivated you and put you in a position where you need to make this kind of money, that you're detail-oriented, that you're good with sales, that you can speak clearly, that you're friendly, personable, yada, 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 right? That you can do that. If you can communicate that to them, then I think you have a great shot. And like I said, you don't need to spend a ton of time. It starts at $40,000, but of course you're going to get bonuses yearly. You might be able to do overtime. This job is working in call centers, so you're basically taking phone calls from clients that want to make some kind of trade. So you need to know the regulations, you need to know the laws, you need to know all the ethics stuff, and that's why they make you sit through these tests. But hey, I mean, they're paying you to go to school. So let's check out, how it works, the pass rates, the amount of time, the amount of money it costs to sit for the exam. Like, if they're going to pick up those fees, they usually will. But the only other thing I will say is that if you pass this, say on your own like I did, you can't sign up for, say, the Series 7 on your own. You have to get a company to sponsor you for it, and that's the only weird thing. So sooner or later, you're going to need to get somebody to help you out. So you're going to have to do some cold calling or whatever. But hey, I mean, you're going to be like a phone type of sales type person anyway. So if that's up your alley, it shouldn't be that hard for you. So let's check out some of the details on the SIE and the various series exams that you're also going to need to get. So we're going to start by looking at the SIE, and if you look right here in the middle, it just says that there's 75 questions. It's multiple choice. You have an hour and 45 minutes to do it. A passing score of 70, and so 70, that's percent. You don't have to get 70 out of 75. It's 70%. And cost is $60. I also like this here. Before I took my exam, I went and did their practice test, and it was really great. I mean, it helped me a lot think of what I was missing, what I didn't understand, and there was just some new concepts that I didn't catch in the Wiley's book. Now, I was very happy with the Wiley's book. Maybe you want to try something else, but okay. So it says that, like I said, 70% is a passing score for the exam. And that 74% of people pass the exam when they take it. So that's good. I mean, that's good for you, right? Here's a little breakdown of what's on the test, the topics covered. So knowledge of capital markets is about 16%. The biggest percentage, 44%, understanding products and their risks, because you are going to be working with clients and customers. So that's a big part. Understanding trading, customer accounts, and prohibitive activities. Again, there are legal frameworks that you're going to work within, so you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself and your firm. And then 9%, just the overview of the regulatory framework. So 75 questions, you can see you got to get a 70% score to pass. It's pass-fail, and 74% of people pass it when they take it. So then, and this is from the FINRA site, the people that run this exam. It says they've researched, and they've said that most people report studying between 20 and 50 hours. So 20 hours, I mean, that's like a long weekend, right? 50 hours, I mean, you can knock that out way quicker than even like a college course, I mean, you could do that in a couple weeks, depending if you have some time off or whatever, you could just get that done. The other thing I want to say that I didn't before is that not only is this good for people that are looking for a new career or transitioning career, but also for people who are looking to pass the CFA qualification, because it's not just passing the 3 exams for the CFA. You also have to have a certain amount of financial experience. Now, don't quote me on this. I'm not sure that doing a customer service type role counts. I should check on that. But it's something that you should be aware and look into if you're trying to get the CFA designation. Anyway, it said if you don't have a financial degree, it might be worth doing some background research. And Investopedia is amazing. It's like Wikipedia. It's really great. They do all kinds of terms, and they explain it. Sometimes they do some videos. Now here's the big thing, and this is all the series that you can get. And I try to blow it up as big as I can for you, those who are watching it on like a mobile device. I hope you can see it. But so I'll just start from the top. We're going to go Series 6, 7, 3, 31, 63, 65, 66, 79, and 99. Keying in on Series 7 since that's like the kind of the big, most popular one. But starting with Series 6. Series 6, if you want to sell mutual funds, variable annuities, and other investment packages, you'll need this license. It's known as a limited investment securities license. It says the Series 6 license enables you to sell what are known as packaged investment products. So if you don't know what all that stuff means, it's fine. But just realize, like, when you go to apply for a job, ask if you can get a training, ask if you can get a sponsor. This is what they're going to be talking about, and it's good to know, what you're getting yourself into, what you'll be doing. Series 7, if you'd like to be a stockbroker, this is the license for you. It's administered by FINRA. It's known as the General Securities Representative License, and so you'll be a representative. It says it authorizes you to sell virtually any type of individual security, such as preferred stock, options, bonds, and other individual fixed income investments, plus all forms of packaged products, just like the Series 6. So the 7 is like a step up, right? It's like the Series 6 plus, the Series 6 on steroids or something, right? It's like, okay, Series 3, if you want to sell commodity futures, so you'll need the Series 3. 31, if you want to sell managed futures, which are pooled groups of commodities futures, you'll need the Series 31 license, an offshoot of the Series 3 license. So you'll probably, my guess is, do the 3 and then the 31. I'm not sure. I haven't seen a lot of jobs actually posted out there looking for this series, so don't be surprised if you don't see it as well. Series 63, and this is one you'll probably have to get in almost every state. If you have a Series 6 or Series 7 and you want to do business as a stockbroker or sell mutual funds in any state, you need this license. It's administered by the NASSA. Series 63 is known as a Uniform Securities Agent License. So you're going to have to get that one in addition to the 6 or the 7. Okay, you with me? Now the 65, it gets a little bit tricky, but okay, 65. If you want to be a financial planner or advisor who works for an hourly fee rather than for commission, so you want to take your hourly fee instead of your percentage or whatever, or you want to be a stockbroker or other financial representative who deals with managed money accounts, you'll need this license. So it's also administered by the NASAA. Series 66. If you have the Series 7 license, you already have you've already answered a good portion of the Series 65 exam. So instead of earning the 63 and the 65 separately, you can just take the Series 66. So that's nice. Say you get sponsored to do the 7, you pass the 7, then you need one more. They're just going to group this in for you so that you can just get everything done real quick like. Series 79, if you want to offer advice or facilitate debt or equity offerings, so this is like public offerings or private offerings, so IPOs and things of this nature, mergers and acquisitions, tender offers, financial restructuring, asset sales, divestitures, or corporate reorganizations, you'll need this license. Now, this is more of like, this is a big time license. You're probably not going to be able to get into this right out of the gate. You're probably going to need an MBA in finance. Maybe you had a couple courses in mergers and acquisitions. Maybe you've been in the investment banking world for maybe at least as an intern and maybe as like a junior analyst for a while. This is not typically, and this is true for the 99. So if you plan to be a senior manager or supervisor in operations, you'll have the authority to materially commit capital in various back office functions. You're going to need a 99. So there you go. I know it's a little bit complicated. I had to dig a bit to find this, but I like this one. I'll read a couple more things on the 7 and the 6 because those are, like I said, more common for people just getting started. It says the Series 7 license is good for your entire period you work for your FINRA member firm or your self-regulatory organization, the SRO. It only expires if you are terminated or leave a firm and do not find employment within 2 years at another FINRA member or SRO. You do have to maintain it with continued education, however, and you can find more information on the FINRA site about the required continued education. This says, if you hold a Series 6 license, you're called a limited representative. We knew that. And you can only sell mutual funds, variable annuities, and insurance premiums. Now, when you get into insurance, you're usually going to need to get an insurance license as well, so it's a little bit different. So if you want to sell like whole life or term life insurance packages to customers, you need that extra oomph. You need one more certification. So you could see, but hey, we're just talking about getting started, right? You can get all that stuff later as you go. For example, if a CPA, a certified public accountant, wants to offer annuities and retirement packaging services to clients, the CPA may only have to take the Series 6 exam. You're a lot more restricted to what you can sell with a Series 6 as opposed to a 7, which permits you to sell many more types of securities. So you may, like for me, I got offered to have a company sponsor me to take the 6. Maybe I want to turn down that offer, maybe the 7 will open a lot more doors for me, and I should either push for the 7 or see if I can get, someone else to sponsor me. But it says both serve specific needs and are appropriate for financial professionals who want to offer certain capabilities to their clients. Yeah, that's true, but as far as I can tell, the 6 is like the 7 light, it doesn't, I think you can do everything and more with the 7 is what I'm trying to say. Finally, what are the requirements to sit for the Series 7 exam? Do I need a sponsor? ? And it says to take the Series 7, you need a FINRA member or SRO to sponsor you. After you've worked for them for 4 months or more, they can file a Form U4, Uniform Applications for Security Industry Registration, which registers you for the exam. Fortunately, most firms that hire or train you will have a mandatory Series 7 licensing program included in their training package. That's what I was talking about before. It says there's no educational requirements to sit for the Series 7. Look at that, no college. But it says although most candidates have a college degree in a finance-related field and may choose to complete a Series 7 exam package before sitting for the exam. I think you can definitely do it. I definitely think you should feel very confident in being able to walk into at least the SIE and pass it without having a finance background. How much time does it take to study for the Series 7 top-off? I don't know what the top-off is, but Series 7, it says most candidates spend, I think they just mean top-off in addition to the SIE. Most candidates spend 80 to 100 hours studying for the FINRA Series 7 exam if they have a finance background, and about 150 if they don't. Okay, that may sound like a lot of hours, but look, people who study for say CFA, the Chartered Financial Analyst, this is a 3-part exam and people are studying 300 to 400 hours for each part. Okay, so finally, I didn't plan it this way, but if you stay till the end, you're going to get this little bonus information. I found 2 pieces of data that kind of conflict with this idea that every state requires the Series 63. For example, this says the Series 63, known as the Uniform Securities Agent State Law Examination, is a registered exam that is required of all potential registered representatives in most states. Colorado, Florida, Louisiana, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, Vermont, DC, and Puerto Rico do not require the Series 63. So anyway, this isn't a complete list. You can see I just cut off at M because of where I live, but you can see that, for example, Colorado is not on this list. Neither is Florida. And what were some of the other ones? Vermont, Jersey, DC is not on here. Puerto Rico. So check that out. You might want to double check that. It might save you an exam. I'm sure the people that you hire on with would tell you that anyway. I hope you guys are doing great, and we will talk to you later.